Okay, so here is what we talked about on Friday, and I know that first period didn't get to hear this, but just in case you were absent and you're kind of wondering what's going on for next week, we're doing a CSWA the whole week. This is the one that we've been talking about for a while. Basically, what happened is because of all the days off and because of all the late starts and everything, I really wasn't able to get us where I wanted us to be as far as the last essay that we've been writing. So we're going to have to resume that uh, when we get back from spring break. As far as the CSWA this time around, I'm obviously going to adjust the rubric. So I'm not going to be grading you on things that I really wanted to cover, but just didn't get a chance to because of all the days off that we had. So anyway, what I started off with is I can't tell you what the prompt is about, but I can sort of guide you a little bit and hint at it. So what we did over the last week is we wrote about a social issue, okay? And then what I wanted you to do is I wanted you to consider the fact that there are thousands of issues in the world that appeal to everybody differently. I care about things that you don't care about. You care about things that I don't care about. So one of the things that I wanted to ask was, what good comes from people being invested in so many different things? And obviously, what people answered in class was that, well, everything is covered that way. You know, we all can't care about everything. There are some things that we're convicted about that we care more about others. So, for instance, I care a lot about animals. I care a lot about giving to charities and investing my time to help maybe, single mothers and the Pat Tillman Foundation. Like, I care about those things. But, like, for instance, the environment. Okay, I really don't care about the environment. I don't care enough about the environment to give to charity or to even think about it. So it's just not something that I care about. But there are thousands of people who do. There are millions of people who care about the environment and they will give to those causes. And so what that really means is that it's a really good thing that we all have different interests because now everything's going to get covered. You can't expect me to care about every single thing in the world. So one of the things that I asked everybody to do is to make a list of the many different issues that are important to many different people and why that's a good thing. So for instance, we kind of talked about um, like the ballet. Okay, like I am not interested in the ballet. I could care less if I ever go to a ballet. But I'm glad that the ballet exists, and I'm glad that there are people that do care about it because that's an art form that should be appreciated. I mean, I'm sure that if you took me to a ballet, I'd enjoy myself. Uh, and I'm glad that there are people who get to, for a living, they get to, work in the ballet. They get to write the ballets and choreograph them and dance in them and direct them and, and do all of that. So, that's kind of one of the things we were talking about is, and it doesn't have to be like a major thing. Like, what about music genres or movie genres or different types of art form? There are just so many things that we all have different interests in, but it's a good thing that we all have those different interests because if everybody was like me and they just cared maybe about 10 things in the whole world, then can you imagine all the things that wouldn't get done? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. The next thing I asked everybody to do, and that is going to have to do with what we're going to be writing about. Okay. It's going to have to do with the fact that people have different interests and people have different um, convictions about helping different things and why that's good. So it's along those lines. The other thing that I wanted to go over is this. Okay. Next week's rules for the CSWA is just like before. Everyone's going to be sitting in rows. There's no talking, no cell phones or earbuds. Guys, I'm telling you about cell phones and earbuds. That is an automatic zero. Okay. If you have earbuds in, if you have your cell phone on, automatic zero. No question, no exceptions, nothing. Um, Phones will be in the charging station. Okay. No exceptions. Each section of the CSWA must be signed off before you continue. So you will have a checklist. And in order for you to go on from the pre-writing to the rough draft, you're going to need me to sign off on it. So you're going to have to bring that to me. Nothing goes home. Everything is turned in to me at the end of class. It's going to be due Friday, and it needs to be submitted through Canvas. This is going to be a major grade, and I cannot help you in any way. Okay, so if you didn't take advantage of emailing me or contacting me or asking me questions while we were in class, as little as we were, then you're just going to have to figure it out. Okay, the other thing is this. This is the checklist that we're going to be using. And basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have to come up with two reasons. It's going to be a clear and focused claim, two examples that are going to be used in each of the body paragraphs, and you're going to have to come up with two arguments. That's going to be the pre-writing. I need to see all of those things before I sign off on your paper so you can move on to the rough draft. When you move on to the rough draft, you're going to have to make sure that there are four paragraphs, all paragraphs indented, transitions highlighted, counter arguments highlighted, high level vocabulary circled. I need to see. After that, you're going to go to the revising and editing, and I'll show you those steps in a minute. After you do your revising and editing, and I sign off on that, then you can go ahead and grab the Chromebook and start typing your final copy, but that's not going to be until Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Your final copy is going to have to be in MLA format, 1-inch margin, 12-point font, Times New Roman, double spaced, and everything needs to be submitted in Canvas. Now, when it actually comes to the revising and editing part, I'm going to show you what the revising and editing is going to look like. Okay, so you're going to have to write down all the first words of every sentence in the left margin. You're going to have to come up with two colors of matte pencils and underline long and short sentences. You're going to have to highlight your claim, which is your thesis statement, okay, the very sentence that tells me what you agree or what you disagree with or what you are going to argue. You're going to have to highlight your topic sentences. Highlight where the claim is restated in the conclusion. You're going to have to draw a square around every transition word. You're going to have to X out the words very, really, and a lot. And you're going to have to circle all ripped words and replace them with something else. Now, these instructions are also going to be on the board. On the board, I'm going to leave a lot of help for you, some counter argument sentence stems, and the format, the template of the essay itself, showing the four paragraphs and what's expected to be in all the paragraphs. And there's rip words on one of the walls, and there's idioms. You don't have to use an idiom, but if you want to use an idiom in this paper, then I put them all up on the board so you can kind of pick from them. But remember, this is a persuasive slash argument essay. You need to have a voice. There needs to be some sort of persuasive. It doesn't need to be so academic in the way that it sounds. Okay, it needs to sound like somebody trying to convince somebody of something, trying to argue a point. So that's one of the most important things that I want you to get from this. Okay, so anyways, when we return tomorrow, which is Monday, or I see you on Tuesday, then that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do the CSWA. Bags are going to be left at the front, cell phones left at the front, and you're just going to strictly write, and everything needs to be signed off on the checklist page. If you have any questions, email me, and if not, I will see you later.